Hello, it's Adil Fazal here, market analyst at CFDs.com, a leading thread-betting and CFD brokerage. Be sure to visit their website, www.cfds.com, and also visit the educational site as well, which is the cfds.education, where I upload my charts and post my analysis throughout the day. Okay, ignore my voice, I'm suffering from a cold at the moment. So, okay, let's try and decipher exactly what's happening here in terms of the actual markets itself, global indices, the situation at present. Certainly have turned green. Okay, initially they were very weak overnight. So first of all, let's have a look at the Asian markets. Now the Asian market is certainly weak as well, given the obviously the three major concerns. First of all, we had the retail sales post US session late Friday. So weaker US retail sales obviously kept the markets under severe pressure there and caused a sell-off. Now that was exacerbated with the late unfortunate attacks in Paris, which obviously created the terrorism fears and uncertainty. Flight to safety, risk aversion trade came into play, etc., etc., and that obviously created panic and a sell-off into Sunday night session. Now the German DAX was down quite substantially at one point. It was down overnight below the 10,500 level. Now it's currently back at the 10,700 level. So quite an impressive sell-off. I mean, the FTSE was touching the 6,000 level. Now it's back at the 6,150 level. So we had quite a substantial sell-off overnight. But the markets certainly have climbed back. Now, the three major concerns from a fundamental perspective this morning. Number one, Japan enters a recession. Very weak economic data overnight in terms of GDP. Okay, that certainly does not bode well. We had Rosenberg, who was hawkish as well over the weekend. Greek misses bailout payment as well. Okay, so that certainly is a concern with regards to the Grexit scenario. Okay, that certainly is playing into the hands. We had Majestic Wines certainly announced a 50% drop in its profits, is certainly weak. We've also had EU inflation coming in line, potentially higher, and thereby indicating no additional QE, and therefore putting the pressure on Draghi in terms of not announcing any further stimulatory measures. Okay, so we've had weaker GDP, French terrorism, obviously that alone is a reason for the market to sell off by itself, okay, and it is a risk-off scenario immediately. So they are the fundamental reasons, and overall my bias is bearish. I have been stopped out multiple times this morning though. Been stopped out on the CAC shorts twice, minus 40 twice, stopped out on the Euro stock, stopped out on the FTSE. Quite a lot of stops this morning unfortunately, but that's the markets for you. We're certainly short squeezed higher on the back of what, Mr. Draghi, QE. Okay, so quite an impressive short squeeze this morning. Now let's have a look at the actual short squeeze itself. If I go to the German DAX and I try and show you the actual squeeze itself, you can see here on a 10-minute chart the market opened around the 10,600, but it was actually trading at below the 10,500 overnight. As soon as we started, we gap filled. We obviously gap filled, we retraced, and then off we went to the races again. Not only did we exceed gap fill, we actually surpassed it quite substantially. So that certainly is obviously negative, or is perceived to be negative as well. So you can certainly see here, certainly quite a bullish move on the German DAX. The pivot high that we reached was 10,760, very impressively. And obviously now the markets are retracing and falling back. Okay, so German DAX certainly resistance in that zone. Okay, you did have previous support equals resistance here, but obviously we have taken that out quite comfortably. We've actually dipped higher and reached the 10,760 level, and now the German DAX, as we speak, has this H&S formation, mini H&S formation, and certainly is looking or poised to certainly move lower. Okay, so going to the daily chart of the German DAX, we have this unfilled gap below. Given the fact that we have these terrorism concerns, etc., I did expect that gap to close in cash hours as well. That obviously hasn't been the case because there could be numerous reasons. Okay, could be Draghi, could be numerous reasons. We have had Mr. Draghi speak this morning, but nothing's come of it thus far. Let me just quickly go and check my Twitter feed again. Okay, nothing at all. Nothing at all as of the few days ago. Just felt maybe inflationary pressures. Nothing. Here we go. Draghi to speak live. Okay, let's just have a look at this. Bear with me. Okay, nothing here at the moment. Okay, so nothing really in terms of the actual movements in the markets thus far. The fact that we actually went and closed a gap, which is very, very impressive given the French terrorism concerns, and that unfilled gap below certainly remains in play from my perspective. 60-minute chart on the German DAX itself, you are retesting the previous support equals resistance level You are in a bearish channel, although we have broken out of it. But having said that, the main concern and priority will be taking out this previous support equals resistance, and thus far we have failed to do so. So still, nevertheless, quite an impressive move, and don't be surprised if we go and sell off and close that gap below. It's all about the gap. That's all I would like to say at present. Okay, on the German DAX. Okay, so certainly in a downtrend, lower lows and lower highs certainly persist. Now, looking at the French CAC, let's bring up the CAC, because given the fact that that obviously is a country that's been affected financially, the daily chart very impressive, certainly has weathered the storm thus far. Okay, although you do have an unfilled gap below at 4600, and that certainly remains in play. Looking at the 60-minute chart on the French CAC, yes, we have bounced off the pivot low. We do have support here at 4730, so bear that in mind. 4730 remains a key support level on the French CAC. Again, if you were to push higher, then you are looking at a potential support up here, or resistance, should I say? Okay, so you are looking at resistance up here at 4840, 4845. But very unlikely to envisage that occurring. Okay, so at present I am looking at a flush down to the potential pivot lows at 4750 on the French CAC, and then we'll see exactly how the market responds thereafter. Okay, the 10-minute chart of the French CAC, again you can see how the market short squeezed very, very impressively this morning. Obviously starting with 4750, hitting a high of 4820, very impressive, and quite a substantial short squeeze at that. Okay, although having said that, we do need to be aware of this potential inverted head and shoulders formation, regardless of the actual news flow that's currently dominating price action. The Euro Stoxx 10-minute chart, you can see here we short squeeze from a pivot low of 3330 to a high of 3375. Very, very impressive, although we are seeing weakness now thereafter. Okay, so bear that in mind. Again, the fib retracements will come into play at 61 to 75, and obviously if we do sell off quite substantially, then your support level at the 3320 zone will certainly come into play as well. 60-minute chart on the Euro Stoxx, again classical previous support equals resistance type scenario. We've put in a topping tail, and obviously now the bears are certainly back in force. Okay, 10-minute chart of the actual Euro Stoxx, you can see here that we are obviously under pressure, selling off quite substantially. And the daily chart, sorry, we need to bring that up for you as well. Okay, again, it's all about the inverted head and shoulders. It's all about Draghi put, so bear that in mind, given the fact that you have an inverted head and shoulders formation. Now, again, any retracement, any sell-off, given the fact that we haven't sold off as substantially yet. I mean, it's still a doji candle post the obviously terrorism concerns, etc., etc. So very, very impressive in terms of the strength thus far on the French CAC, and one has to attribute that to QE and the Draghi effect. That's all I can think of at present. Okay, but again, any sell-off will be subject to the 61%, which is 3300 support, and obviously further down potentially to retest the neckline. Okay, so it's all about gauging how much the impact of terrorism will have, or terrorism concerns will have, on the French CAC going forward. Okay, and that's basically what we're observing thus far. Okay, I think that's a wrap in terms of European indices. Looking at the FTSE 100, looking at the daily chart first of all, you can see that we are holding this fib 61%, which coincides with previous resistance equals support. Having said that, the FTSE was actually at the 6,000 level overnight, so quite a substantial retracement. A very, very impressive retracement at that, especially going into cash hours. 60-minute chart, you can see here we have made a pivot low of 6080, and we haven't looked back ever since. And certainly immense strength today on the FTSE, and that's mainly due to the price of oil, given the geopolitical concerns post France. Okay, terrorism, etc., etc. So again, any sell off here, you have a base now being built around the 6130 level, so watch out for that. 6120, and we'll see whether or not the markets can continue to project higher. Okay, I think that's a wrap in terms of the European markets. In terms of the actual S&P 500, currently we're trading at 2025. 2025 is gap fill support. If we do break that level, then you are looking at the next gap fill support at 1995, and that will be the key area to watch. In terms of the HNS formation, you have this HNS here. Okay, so in terms of this HNS formation here, okay, you have the pivot high at 2117, you have the pivot low at 2064, and then you basically have a substantial drop. If I just calculate this for you. So 2117 minus 20, confirm this for you. There's your pivot high, 2117, and then you have 2064. Okay, you got a 53 point drop. So 2064 will take you down to 2011. Okay, so bear that in mind. So HNS formation here on the S&P 500, 2017 minus 2064 equals 2011 drop. So you're looking at a 53-point drop. So 2011 is your key area of support, okay, in terms of the actual S&P 500. So that's a zone that we certainly must observe and watch, okay. And that will complete the HNS pattern on the S&P 500. Okay, I think that is a wrap now in terms of European market analysis. Be sure to visit cfds.com. There is a new app as well called Trade Signaler. You can download on Google Play and Google and Apple Store. So certainly observe that and watch out for that. I'll bring more details of that and I'll do a review of that as well for you. Okay, so take care and safe trading. Goodbye now.